Amgueddfa Cymru Museum Wales. So I just want to start by beginning with other people who are also fighting for the culture sector at the moment. Culture and heritage and its employees are under threat, both here in Wales and across the country. Right now, multiple museums in Liverpool are shut and their workers are on an 8-week of continuous strike action to ensure that museum workers receive the government-mandated £1,500 cost of living payment that their employer agreed to pay and has not. As fellow museum workers in the culture sector, too, I wish them all the best in their action. There's been some amazing picket lines in Liverpool, including the summer festival theme, even if it rained. Solidarity, and we are doing a collection for the strike fund today, so please give what you can generously into the various buckets that are coming around. Back to Wales. Culture and heritage organisations like my own Amgueddfa Cymru Museum Wales deliver in every measurable way. Most obviously economically. On a national scale, visitors in Wales planned their time around the intention of visiting one of our sites, which contributed some £80 million to the Welsh national economy in 2020. No small amount, I think you will agree. And for every £1 invested in the culture sector, you get £5 back in economic growth. Locally, many of the museum sites are based in rural, isolated and deprived regions and communities. They give locals dignified and secure employment and wages, which they in turn stimulate the local economy. These communities rely upon our sites, their opening days, hours and visitors that we attract to in order for them to prosper. Visitor figures of over 1 million people in 2022 and 2023, and at our zenith before COVID at just under 2 million visitors, are indicators that we deliver for our visitors time and time again. The Museum of Wales delivers internationally recognised excellence by winning awards such as Museum of the Year and lots of other awards and recognition for its outstanding work. It delivers in identifying, connecting with and working with underprivileged or disadvantaged people and communities such as refugees, the very old and the very young. Museum Wales is the largest educator in Wales after schools, and like myself, I'm sure that the majority of us have a collective experience of a memory of visiting them on a school trip. Turn page. For me, it was holding my best friend's hand while we walked past the Red House in St Fagans and visited the pig pen. Almost everyone in and or visiting Wales has shared this experience of visiting our sites, making profound, lifelong memories whilst they're there. Every week at Cathays Park, I see or speak to people and visitors who have been enjoying a visit in their youth and have brought the next generation and the generation after that to do the same. We are a cultural touchstone. Museum Wales, like other cultural and heritage sector, deliver in actively promoting, protecting, using and sustaining the Welsh language of today, along with understanding and preserving the history of the culture that it is attached to. It is a keystone in the Welsh Government Cymraeg Strategy 2050, with the ambition of 1 million speakers of this Welsh language by this date. The museum is a key organisation as well in Welsh Government legislation of the Wellbeing of Future Generations Act, obligating public bodies, including my own, to consider the long-term impact of decisions they make on the climate, economy, society and the health of the nation. Well-being on an individual, group or national basis is improved by visiting or engaging with culture and heritage. It sparks curiosity, inspiration, wonder and pride. Through the passion and expertise of every member of staff, from cleaners to curatorial staff to the CEO, our 5 million objects in our last collection count are collected, catalogued, researched, maintained, stored, loaned and displayed for current visitors and generations after that. The story and understanding we can obtain from these objects is endless, reflecting Wales, its past, present and future self to the people of Wales and the wider world. For a sector that protects and delivers so much in pounds, shilling and pence, but also in multiple ways that are less easy to measure and quantify. The cuts that were announced by the Welsh Government in December 2023 of between 10.5 and 22%, and the requirement of these savings to be in place by March is nothing short of catastrophic and must be reversed. The museum, like much of culture and heritage sector, has for decades been underinvested in, as cited by the recently published Welsh Government commissioned independent tailored reviews of the museum and library. This, together with a prolonged period of austerity, the effects of COVID-19 and previous restructures in our organisations, like my own, have gone through, explained to staff at the time, 15 years ago, it was to streamline and prevent this very situation that now we are faced with once again. It has made my organisation and other in the culture and heritage sector less resilient each time. For the museum, the 10.5% government grant and aid cut equates to £3 million. However, we're already running on an annual deficit of 1.4 million. So it means real terms cuts will be more like 15 to 20%. The need of implementing this in the 3-month period deadline means that these cuts are fast-paced and deeper and are happening right now. 95 roles are being made redundant right now in my organisation. Last week, collections and curatorial staff in departments including geology, art, natural sciences and archaeology, and even money-making arms of the museum in their commercial sector were in consultation meetings, being told how this team is currently 3 people, but going forward it will be 1. Or this team is 10 people, and it now is going to be 8. No department has been left untouched. Individual roles, their entire careers, and their accumulated knowledge of our unique collection in Wales are being deleted as we speak. The loss of the passionate and uniquely specialised knowledge and skilled staff, once gone, will not be easy or cheap to replace, as many of the decisions taking place at such a speed have unintended knock-on effects and consequences. It will affect our ability to collect, preserve, store, understand, share and display items unique and important to Wales. The services Museum Wales was founded for and the public has come to expect and rely upon will be cut back, accessible at only certain times of the year or for only those who can afford it, as the charging models are already being piloted across sites. Plans to recognise reorganised museum opening times and days will affect public access to our sites and our collections, whilst intended changes to the contracts of some of the lowest paid people, such as myself, museum assistants, will leave them financially worse off. Hard fought for weekend working agreements for some of these same low paid staff, ensuring a better work-life balance that sees them not work at the majority or every weekend is under review for renegotiation, with the veiled threats that if it's not in keeping with the museum's new flexibility needs, posts which enjoy this might become redundant. Turn page again. I promise I'm nearly at the end. Will become redundant. Casual staff, already vulnerable in contractual terms, are fearful of what the future holds for them as well. Policy review has meant worsening terms and conditions for current and new starting staff, for example in the regards of sickness absence, as the museum looks to make savings wherever possible. The museum maintenance bill across the organisation has been estimated at £90 million, meaning only the most critical repairs are done. Around my own site of Cyte's Park, the flagship building of our Museum Wales, I have counted in the last week 18 buckets, 1 plastic tray and a very ingenious tarpaulin rain slide that catches the water when it rains. In public galleries, meters from international contemporary art exhibitions and also behind the scenes. The 10.5 to 22% cut announced by the Welsh Government to the culture and heritage sector are hugely disproportionate in their detrimental effect compared to the savings that they want to make overall of the Welsh Government, which is some 0.02%. This is why we stand here today, to oppose the cuts to this sector and all the sector does and delivers for the public and wider nation of Wales. I call on the people in this building in front of me, the members of the Senedd and the Culture Minister, to reverse these unfair and devastating cuts and fairly and substantially fund, not cut, the culture and heritage sector in Wales. These are the people who have the power to decide and change the budget going forward. And with your help here today, in writing to your representatives, in signing the online Senedd petition about the cuts to the culture sector, we will put pressure on the Welsh Government to reverse these funding cuts. I will leave you with the questions scared, worried, angry and sad Museum Wales staff are asking each other at the moment. What will be left of these cultural institutions if the cuts are implemented? If they are, Wales and its people will be poorer both economically and culturally for generations to come. Thank you very much.